I painted this Valentine's card design in about 10 minutes and in 4 easy steps. And I'm going to show you how you can paint this too by following along with this video tutorial in just 4 easy steps. Did I already say that? Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the end you'll have a wonderful original Valentine's card you can give to your sweetheart. I know what it's like as the 14th of February approaches and you're running out of time before Valentine's Day, but you're struggling to find ideas of what to paint. And then you get the fantastic idea of making a homemade Valentine's card. But if you don't get this done in time, well, you'll come across as thoughtless or uninterested on Valentine's Day. But it's not too late. Here I'm going to show you the exact steps needed to paint this Valentine's illustration in watercolor and get great results. So first of all, the subject for this painting. Who remembers jammy dodgers? I have to admit I used to eat loads of these when I was a kid, and nowadays they come with a cute little heart shape of jam in the centre. Just the right kind of symbol for offering to your beloved. Yay! So let's have a closer look at the steps involved in this painting. Step 1. Preparation. This is where I show you how to sketch the outline onto a sheet of watercolor paper and then apply masking fluid for an interesting illustrative effect. Next, step 2. The base layer. This first layer of colour is called the underpainting. Step 3. Adding volume. Here you'll use what's known as a glazing technique to create more depth and volume. And finally, step 4. Adding a few finishing touches and removing the masking fluid. Voila! Before we jump in, here are the materials you'll need. A flat board if you have one, some watercolor paper, 2 round brushes, 1 small and 1 large, some liquid masking, something to apply the masking fluid. I use a bamboo quill pen, but you can use a small synthetic brush instead, and a handful of watercolor paints. Step 1. Begin by transferring the drawing onto a sheet of watercolor paper. My favourite method is to use an LED light pad. This saves a huge amount of time and you can trace a clean pencil outline in one go without any erasing. Erasing potentially degrades the surface of the paper. By the way, you can download everything you need to complete this painting, including the sketch outline, by following the link below this video. Next, apply masking fluid to the whole of the outline. You'll need to keep dipping the pen nib into the masking fluid, then draw over the pencil outline. Leave the fluid to dry completely before moving on. Step 2. Now you can paint the first layer of watercolour. This is a mix of warm yellow and brown, such as burnt umber. Remember to leave the heart shapes in the middle of the cookies unpainted. Oops! Well, if you make a mistake like me, just blot up the paint before it dries. Paint the whole of the shapes for the front 2 cookies, leaving the one at the back untouched. We'll do something different here later on. Before the paint has time to dry, dab in some stronger brown coloured paint. Do this on the sides of the cookies that are in shade. Dabbing in paint to a damp surface like this is a wet-on-wet watercolour technique known as charging in. Now turn your attention to the last cookie at the back. Mix some more water into your puddle of paint so you end up with a lighter, more diluted colour. By giving the cookie at the back a lighter valued appearance, you help create depth and give the idea that this object is further away. Now wait for the first layer of paint to dry. If you get bored watching paint dry, you can always speed up the process using a hairdryer. Step 3. Paint the hearts in the centre of the jammy dodgers. Jammy dodgers. Leave some small white highlights to create bright reflections. Again, when it comes to the heart shape at the back, dilute your paint and use a lighter coloured mixture. Add a grey shadow shape underneath the cookies. This will help ground the objects and give them a slightly 3-dimensional effect. Next, I used a small brush and a mixture of brown paint to add shadow details to the pattern on top of each cookie. Then I added a layer of colour to the sides of the cookies to increase the shading. Finally, step 4. Still using a small brush, add a few final details such as shading around the edges of the cookies and a few red brush strokes to the hearts to give them some more depth. Lastly, you can now remove the dried masking fluid. The best tools for this are a rubber cement pickup tool like this, or just a kneaded eraser. Doing this will also remove the pencil lines of the original sketch, leaving just the white paper showing through. Now you're finished, and you just saved yourself a lot of trouble on Valentine's Day. Give yourself a round of applause. Now go check out this other video where I show you how to paint a watercolor still life in just 4 easy steps. Don't forget you can download a worksheet with everything you need to paint this project by following the link below. Also, if you'd like to receive some free watercolor lessons that I only share with my newsletter subscribers, follow the link underneath this video to sign up.